Monday morning, October 16th, 2023, a wonderful, amazing morning. And here we are. It is the morning blessing time, so let's get it going. It is a lovely day, nice temperature today, 9 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So it's a lot warmer if you're accustomed to that. Hey, Chris, good morning. How are you? On time this morning. You must have seen. Hi. Hello, Shilly. Chris is here. Gavin and Shilly. The guys are there. I wonder what's going on in their heads today that they show up so early this morning. Let us see why you guys are here. I'm just moving this a little bit. Yeah, it is 8 o'clock. So since the two of you are here, the others will come rolling in. I'm starting this. So conquer your day, right? Use blocks of times to conquer your day. What do you think that's all about? Sometimes when we wake up in the morning, good morning. Oh, okay, look at this person, Sexy in Second Boutique. Hello, good morning. How are you? It is a wonderful morning. Chris is excellent and Gavin is fantastic. And here you are. So, it is conquer your day in blocks of time. That is something that we don't do at all because we work very hard on getting as much done in the day as possible. And when we do that, what we are doing to ourselves, good morning, Lisa, good morning, Ryan, morning, Loretta, what we are doing when we take on the whole day in one gulp, we choke. I don't mean you literally choke, but it's like putting too much food in your mouth. What happens to you then when that happens? You stop. You give up. Hi, Peter. Good morning from Malaysia. You stop and you just say, I didn't do it. I cannot do it. This is the best way to conquer your day. Use blocks of time. Sometimes you will hear people say, and usually people who say, they do this, they have a team behind them. They have an entire team. They have an assistant, they have assistants, various assistants that picks up the mundane, the small things, and they do it. And of course, many of us hear this and we go, oh, so they say one day to do this, one day to do that, one day to do this, and everybody jumps on and say, that's a great idea. But you can only control that if you have somebody to pick up the slack. Every day, you cannot spend 8, 4, 5, 6 hours on one project at a time, unless that's all you do. But if you're doing it all for you, you have to learn to use blocks of time. Sometimes it is very challenging to face the day. You wake up in the morning and you look at it and you're thinking, there are so many things I need to do every day. And I'm working on them, but someday I get some done. Other days I don't get them done and they should be done. And I'm carrying them with me. I'm pulling them with me everywhere I go, every day. So that stuff I didn't do on the 1st of October and today's the 16th is still hanging over my head. So one of the things that I practice is blocks of time. The trick though, when you get into the blocks of time for doing something, you must remember, hi Nadi, good morning. We need to chat. Blocks of time to do something, you have to remember one thing. When that block is over, turn it off. When that time is over, although you're feeling I can do more. But remember, there is another block of time for another topic, another situation, another challenge, another task, another to-do, whatever you call it. Because when you have a block of time and you do it, in that time, it gives you the sense of satisfaction. You mightn't have completed the entire task, but you have completed something in it. And that's what gives you the momentum to keep going, to move because you did it. So tomorrow you start again and picked up where you left off. The very first time that I started doing this was when I had to do my certified personal financial planner. I remember when I picked up the book on mutual funds, it was like reading another language. But somewhere along the line, I remember that at a certain time, your brain stops swallowing hours and hours, and cramming is not always the answer. So what I decided to do, I would give myself a certain amount of time every day to do it. At that time, that was all I had to do. So I decided I would use 60 minutes immediately when coming home. So what I did, the book was thick, very thick. I had never opened it. I had no idea what it was about. So I picked up the book, a pot of tea. Honestly, I brewed some tea, cheese and raisins and almonds in a bag, mixed them, and went to sit to work. And I would set the timer on. So once the timer got to 60 minutes, doesn't matter where I am, I highlighted the spot or I checked it off. I turned to the back of the book, right here, like that part of the study book, and I put a line, one line. And I kept doing this until I got to 5 lines. Hi, Yuko, good morning. And then that's 5 hours. And I did that every day for 18 months. The point is, though, when I say that, people say, well, you didn't do it on Christmas Day and all. I said, no, I didn't. But the first official regular working day after that, I added 15 minutes to the hour, and I did it. But the thing is, at the end of that 18 months, I had, almost 700 hours of studying. I had no difficulty retaining the information, but it gave me a sense of satisfaction. So I began to apply that to my life after that. So everything I do, I give it a block of time. That time, when it comes, I stop. Sometimes it is so good what I'm doing. I feel so great about it, and I want to go on for longer. That happens in 2 areas of my life. When I am reading or when I am writing. When I get into the groove of reading a book, I can curl up with that book for days. I might just get up to breathe, to eat, and go right back. I have done that. But then I started writing was the same thing. Because once the flow starts going, you just want to go. But what that does when you do that, it soaks up so much out of you that you're not able to go do the other task you have for the day. Are you guys getting this? Are you with me on that? So because it feels so good for me to be writing away, and I'm just letting my brain is just delivering information, and the alarm goes off and I just keep going. But when it has taken everything that it can flow and I've placed it on that paper, I feel spent. I am empty. There's nothing left to give to anything. All I want to do is just, I'm dazed. I can't sit down. I can't stand up. I have nothing in me because everything went into writing. So that is what I mean when you bit up more than you can chew. So that means I took up too much. I swallowed too much of that writing or reading. These are my 2 very strong weaknesses. The garden is like that too. I can get there from it to it, and I've done that. But now, if I'm sitting outside to read and I see something I want to change in the garden, I make the shape of where it is. It could be to pull a weed. I make a shape of where it is and I put it in. So when the time for me to work in the garden, I go straight to that, what I have written to be done in the garden, to give it its hour or its half hour. So that's what I mean by using the block of time. Yesterday I had a Thai massage, and the lady who gives the massage, I've known her for many, many, many years. And she's really tiny lady, because a Thai massage, they climb all over you, you know that. So she is now gotten the opportunity to teach at a college. But she also has these other things she does at spas, and of course coming to my home. I don't know to who are people's home she goes to. So she's saying to me, I have so much paperwork to do. She's been saying that. So finally one day I said to her, why don't you devote 15 minutes to doing just that paperwork? Just, even if it's just to put them all together in one pile. If it takes you 15 minutes, you stop. So she said she did it, but she couldn't stop. And that's when I realized other people has that. And yesterday I asked her, she said, you know what, I haven't done it again. The last time I did it, when you suggested that, I did it. But when the 15 minutes was over, I was so much in it, I just kept going. And she said, you know, I didn't have the energy, not even to prepare supper. I just said to my husband, we have to eat whatever you can prepare. And he cooked, so she said it was okay. And that is what you will notice. Give the task you have to do a time, a limit. Respect it though. And hi Kia, hi Lisa. Respect the limit that you have given to those tasks and only use that amount of time. The need to swallow more than you can chew is similar to filling your plate up with food and then you can't eat it all. And then you just leave it and you walk away or you have to dump it. That's the same thing when you have things to do. So when you make, last week we talked about 3 to 5 things that you can do. Great. If you have a list of things to do in the day, do not follow the people that has assistants that will help them to take their phone calls, to do this, to do that, to do everything else while they're spending 5-6 hours a day on one thing and getting it done. Monday I do this, Tuesday I do this, Wednesday I do this, and Tuesday I do this, and Friday I do this. That's great. Look at behind them. Look ahead of them. Look on all sides of them. What are they surrounded with? They're able to pay people to do the mundane, the small, clear the path. They're able to have somebody take all their phone calls and decide which phone calls that they should have or not have. To make a note to call somebody on that day when it's their phone call calling day or their contact day or the day they do this or they do that. But you don't have that. So therefore, you have to take your task and make them smaller. Hello, Zamadan. And make them smaller than they actually are. Bite small pieces you can manage. That's why I said, you make a list and you decide each thing needs a certain amount of time. So for example, with me, I do this, it's 30 minutes. I create maybe for 15 minutes. I write and I limit it to 30 minutes. I sit and I read and I limit it to 30 minutes. And those are the must-dos of the day. But that doesn't mean I get up immediately and I'm able to get away from writing for 30 minutes. I am in the groove. I do not get what they call writer's block for some reason. If I'm writing, I get in the mode, I'm going to write, boom, and away I go. That doesn't mean everything I write is what I can use. But the point is, it will lead me to what I'm able to use. So when I go back to it, to edit it, to work on it, the first or the middle or somewhere there, I have to delete it. It's not good. It doesn't flow. So that's what happens. But I only give it that time. I can maybe get in the flow at the time of writing and feel that I'm really, really getting in. I'm honing in on it. I have it. It's working. And then my body, my mind, everything wants more. And I go to give more, and then I have stepped over the line. I went for 35, 40, 50, 60 minutes, sometimes 2-3 hours. But then I am spent and nothing left. And that's what happened to this lady. She cannot get herself back there. So she's still looking at the pile, she says, and that's all I am able to do with it. And this is why you need blocks of time, small blocks of time. You say, well, I'm cooking. I cannot put a time on cooking. Yes, you can. You know how long it will take you. Sometimes, if you're following a recipe, it tells you it will take you 15 minutes, right? If you decide today you're going to do laundry, you do not have to stop everything. You know how to do that. You have to exercise. That is the one that people just put. If I do not have an hour of exercise, I will never get. No. It's the small, consistent steps that makes the difference to what you do. You want to write? Then write for 15 minutes. Write for 10 minutes. Do what you have to do. You want to exercise? Do 15 minutes every day. But when you total it, it's 15 minutes 7 times. Whereas if you say, I'm going to do an hour at the gym and you never get to the gym, I'm going to do it at home for an hour and you never do it. If you're able to that's all you have to do is to maintain your health, then do it. But if your day has several pockets to be filled, you cannot do it like that. And that is why you have to make sure that you give everything you have to do an allotted amount of time. But Tessa-Marie, I have children, young children, you can also arrange that. They come from school. All day long, especially the younger grades, all they have heard is no. They have to follow the rules, they heard no. So all of a sudden, they come home and they're full of energy that they want to expel. You have to give them a time to do that. You cannot hustle them into things. Or maybe you need to prepare things before so that when you're with them, you're spending the time to listen. They have stories to tell. That is when they speak. If we do not have that block of time for them, we will not know what's happening in that school. And they are going every day, mom, in their mind, they might not express it to you, but they will say, in their little heads, I couldn't tell them. I didn't tell my parents because they were busy. They were too busy to listen. So when do you have dinner? So there are so many things. The dinner time can run into hours if you have them at the table and you're talking and you can listen to what everybody has to say. So everything we do in life, we need a block of time. And you're saying it's not doable, but you did it already though. You went to university and college for 4 years. That was a block of time. That's how it took you to complete it, but you didn't do it all in 1 week. It was a block of time, so many hours for a subject in school. There are 8 subjects, sometimes 4. 45 minutes for it. They ring a bell and you get out and you go. What I've always said, and I always encourage people to do, model yourself after a successful thing or a successful company. Model yourself after a successful person that is consistent. Do not be like them because you can. You can choose to take small things from them because it's better, it will work for you. Like I adopted one thing from somebody. That one thing I noticed and I heard the person say that I start my life 1 minute early. I get on, I'm ready to go 1 minute before the time I'm supposed to be there. Now, I found that was very handy for me, so I adopted that. I didn't adopt anything else. I adopted that coming at 7:59 and a 1 minute, no matter where. When I do a YouTube live, same thing. 1 minute earlier. It gives me time to focus. It gives me time to make sure I'm standing where I want to stand. The Wi-Fi is working. That's 1 minute is amazing what it can do. So I adopted that. And that is how I keep observing things. You look at somebody having a talk, a politician. There are days they take questions, and there are days they just come, they speak, and they walk away. You go to a service. It starts at 9, it's finished at 9:45 or 10, and they go. They don't make it longer than it is supposed to be. So we have to learn to model our running of our day like a business runs. I always say, run your entire life like a successful business. Know when you're failing, know when you're thriving, when to push, when to stop, when to let go. And that is what it is to conquer your day in blocks of time. Conquer the day by at the end of the day, you will feel good because you've done a bit in everything. Swallowing more than you can take in will make you choke. You might want to gulp it and swallow and do all of that. But that's the choke. Like this lady has the choke. She cannot get herself over that hours she spent putting papers together, yet did not get everything done. So now she's choking and she's not able to breathe through it, to say, I can attempt it now. I can go after it now. Because that one day, she swallowed more than she could chew. It's a form of indigestion. You realize that. She knows she has indigestion. And because she has indigestion, she's not well enough to conquer the rest of her day, to go over this again. She said, excuse me, she does what must be done. Like, I have to go to the college, I must teach, I have to come here, I must teach, I'm always, and she hasn't got a choice on those. That's what she believes. But that other thing sitting at the back, she keeps dragging it with her. I didn't bring it up yesterday. She brought it up. And then, so that means all those weeks ago, every day she's carrying it. That is loading your mind. That is loading your psyche. That is loading you. You're restless. You can't sleep because the unfinished thing is weighing on you. Whereas, if you gave it time, just sufficient time to soothe it, to make it feel better, you will feel better. When you feel good, you do good. But if you're constantly looking back at the things you failed to do, you will always fail. You'll always feel like I didn't get it done. Bite a little bit all the time, every day. Be consistent. You will get momentum by doing it. And as you're consistently doing a bit every day, you're going to win. And you want to win. You want to look back one day and say it's gone. You take 15 minutes to declutter. Your surrounding is heavy. There's lots of things around you that you just put there because you don't have the time to put it where it should go. 15 minutes. Look at your shoes. How many of them you can keep? Look at the 15 minutes. Get rid of something. Do something for 15 minutes and realize how many things you've done in that 15 minutes. How much you have gotten through in that 15 minutes. I use that every day. But when you're on a choke, it takes a long time on that. You know how you feel when you're on the verge of choking? Remember when my throat just now, it wasn't pleasant. But if I drink some water, take a vitamin C chewable, do all that, then it makes it easier that I can go on longer to speak. Because I did the thing in the beginning to make sure things are going right. So it's the small steps in small blocks of time that wins the day. It's not doing one thing that wins the day. You have to sometimes make a list, and next to those to-do, give them a time and show up for them. And if those of you that are here most likely know about your angels. So if at the time you look at it, you're saying, wow, I can't do this all in that time. Do not say that. Just say, you know what? I need some help here. Ministry of Angels, send me an angel that is qualified to do this, to help me to go through it. Seek help. If there is a spiritual help, that's where you go first. Then that spiritual help can lead you to a human help, a human energy. Because you cannot see, that doesn't mean it does not exist. You cannot really see the wind, but you believe it exists. The sun is up there. You don't know much about it. It gives warmth. It dazzles you. It also burns you, but you know it exists. So the energies that are around you can help you. They do exist because they're not tangible. You cannot grasp the wind. But you know the wind is blowing because you can hear it. You can see the trees moving. When you grasp an energy that is around you to help you, you succeed, you feel better. You are more satisfied. Again, every time you feel better, you step up and you do better. Every time you feel wonderful, you do wonderful things. It's when you are bitter and tired and frustrated and regretting of the actions you didn't take to do that 20 minutes of decluttering, that 20 minutes of just stretching, You don't need hours to stretch. Stretch every day for 20 minutes. The 10 minutes you could take to look at your portfolio at your bank, even if all you have is a checking account and a savings account, it's a portfolio. There's no other name for it. Spend some time, get into your computer and look at it. Question it. Are you saving the amount 10 minutes? I'm going to devote 10 minutes today to look at my banking situation. I'm going to devote 15 minutes today to see if I can get a lower rate on my credit card. It's only when you ask, you're going to get an answer. Chances are they will say no, but it's hard now for everyone. Challenges, financial challenges. You're sitting there and you have this, call them. They don't want to lose you as a customer. I know. I come from inside of those institutions. It is more expensive to find a new client than to keep the one you have. I know that. And if you look at the ads carefully, they are bombarding you with those ads. It's costing them millions of dollars. If they do not have to convince you to stay because of an ad or to come to them because of an ad, they will bend to accommodate you. Trust that. And call and say, my credit card is at 25%. I paid it on time and things are tight. Can I get a break? And they'll say for 6 months. 6 months is better than no months at all. Then take that 6 months to use it. How long did it take you? 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe longer to talk to a human. Or maybe, you could do it without talking to a human and they can send you the answer. The same way they send you when they want to give you more credit, the same way you can ask them to lower your credit rate of interest. So you see, it's doing small things all through the day and sitting back and saying, wow, what a day. I conquered the day. How did you conquer the day? I conquered the day because I was able to touch everything I had on my list. And then look at the amount of minutes you spent. The amount of minutes you spent conquering that day might only be 3 hours. In all, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But if it's 2.5 hours every day, look at the minutes. So it's 150 minutes from 1,440 minutes in the day. But you do that every day. Maybe not on the weekend. Give yourself a break. Breathe. Have something better for the weekend. A nice long shower. A luxurious bath. Following, if you didn't see our Sunday self-care show, take a look at what we talked about. We talked about supplements, eating right, and body care. And it was really, really enjoyable. We had a lot of people just coming in and out and then sending us notes of how it was so important for them. So on the weekend, look after you. Make sure you're taking your supplement. Take a longer bath. Go in the bath. Sit in the tub. Men can do it too, Put some Epsom salt and sea salt in there and some oils. You can get orange oil, bergamot oil. They're nice scented oil. Sit there. If you want, pour a glass of wine. I take 2 liters of water, of Fizzy water. Sometimes I might take a glass of wine. And just sit there. You don't have to do anything. I was curious about somebody like that spoke about their life. So I put it on yesterday after my massage. I was in there for an hour and a half and I listened to them talking about their life and how they became who they wanted to be. So you can do that. Lock the door. Let the family know you're not there. Do not answer the phone. But give yourself time. Do things in blocks of time so that you are able to conquer the day. You'll feel better for it. When you feel good, you will do good. Do not swallow more than you can chew in your mouth, more than you can swallow. Big gulps at one time means you choke or on the verge of choking, and then you stop performing. You give up on doing what you plan to do. Because like my lady friend there, she gave up undoing it because she took too much of a big gulp. Watch how you're working on your life. Watch what you're doing and work from that point. Only absorb in blocks of time, tiny bits all through the day. And you will see a huge difference in your life. So anyway, so let us look at where we are and what you're going to do today. Hi, Julie. Hi, Juniors. How are you? Hi, Kia, Juniors, Yuko, Lisa, Ryan, Shirley, Loretta. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming and hanging around with me this morning. It has been an honor and a privilege to have you here today. So remember, conquer your day by doing blocks of time. I showed that to you guys, but this is my day, right? So I have write 30 minutes, read 30, create for 30, the morning blessing thereabout, and I have some decluttering to do today for 15 minutes. And I give them time. So I use a timer, and that's when the time is up, I pull back, done. That doesn't mean I never go back. I have to do it again tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe on Wednesday. But the point is, I gave it its time, and that is how you build momentum. That is how you're consistent, and that is how you conquer your day. Have a wonderful and amazing day, you amazing human being. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.